The Google Pixel 10 series is just around the corner, and as always, we pretty much already know everything there is to know, much of which is thanks to Google themselves. So the Google Pixel series always leaks early, and with Google literally posting a teaser of the full device on show, there's not much left of the imagination. But anyway, let's break down all of the leaks and rumors so you know exactly what to expect on the 20th of August. Now that is the official announcement date. The release will be about a week after, on the 20th of August. As expected, there will be 4 new Google Pixels. There's going to be a Google Pixel 10, a Pixel 10 Pro, a Pixel 10 Pro XL, as well as a Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Now with the Pro Fold, we'll talk about that towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Let's initially talk about the designs. Now, as you would have seen from all of the leaks and rumors, the design is pretty much exactly the same as the Google Pixel 9. And that makes my life a lot easier because it means we can just use the Pixel 9 devices with a bit of VFX and make them look like the Pixel 10s. Now, I'm personally not upset about this at all because the Pixel 9 did bring a fresh new design. We still have that visor, but it's updated compared to the Pixel 8 Pro series. And I actually quite like the design of the Pixel 9. Now, we will be getting some refreshed colors. So for the Pixel 10, we have an obsidian, and then we have some vibrant colors, an indigo, a frost, as well as a limoncello. I think that's how you say it. Now, these renders have been leaked by Android headlines, as well as for the Pixel 10 Pro and the Pixel 10 Pro XL, which have slightly more muted colors. So we also have an obsidian, but then we've got a porcelain, a moonstone, as well as a jade. Now, the moonstone seems to be the flagship color. That's what we've seen in most leaks. Now, with the displays, from all of the leaks and rumors we're seeing, there doesn't seem to be a change. So the Pixel 10 will have a 6.3-inch Actua display, which is OLED, and this will go from 60 to 120 Hz with a 2700 nits peak brightness. The Pixel 10 Pro will also have a 6.3-inch display, but this is going to be using LTPO technology, which means it can go from 1 to 120 Hz. And this is also the same on the Pixel 10 Pro, which will have a larger 6.8-inch display, both displays with a peak brightness of 3000 nits. Now for the cameras. Hey! Do you want to remind them of the camera comparison that you're going to be working on? Okay, as SuperSaf reminded, if you do want to see a SuperSaf style camera comparison of the Pixel 10 Pro series versus the competition, then do subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss it. So for the Pixel 10 Pro and Pro XL, it looks like the camera hardware is going to stay the same. So a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, a 48 megapixel telephoto camera, but this time both the ultra wide and telephoto will have macro capabilities. Now, although the hardware is going to remain the same, we're going to have a new image signal processor and new software processing, so there should be some improvements there. But the Pixel 10 is where things get very interesting because we've got a whole new camera setup. So from all of the leaks and rumors that we're seeing, the Pixel 10 will now have triple cameras, up from 2 cameras that we had on the Pixel 9. So from the leaks, it seems like we're going to have a 48 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, as well as a 10.8 megapixel telephoto camera. So the telephoto camera is new. However, this does seem at the expense of downgraded primary and ultra wide cameras because the Pixel 9 had a 50 megapixel primary camera as well as a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now, presumably this is to keep the price the same by introducing an additional camera, having to compromise slightly on the primary and ultra-wide cameras. Let me know what you guys think of that. Now, one area where all of the Pixel 10 series devices are going to be getting an upgrade is in terms of performance. And that is because they're going to be powered by the new Tensor G5 chipset. This is a 3nm chipset, and from the leak benchmarks that we're seeing, this will give a 36% bump up compared to the current Tensor G4. Now, that means it will be slightly faster than last year's Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, but it will continue to be behind the current competition with the likes of the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So Pixel devices have never really been frontrunners when it comes to performance, and unfortunately this year again, they are going to be trailing behind the competition. It's also rumored that we're going to have a slight storage variation, although the Pixel 10 and 10 Pro will both have a base 128GB model. The Pixel 10 Pro XL will now come with a base of 256GB, going all the way up to 1 terabyte. Now, of course, being Google Pixel devices will mean that you're going to be getting the latest version of Android. They're going to be coming with Android 16 out of the box, and Google does promise 7 years of OS and security updates for their Pixel devices. So they will be receiving a lot of the latest features and security updates for some time to come. And being Pixel devices, of course, there's going to be a big emphasis on Gemini, and you're also likely to get Gemini Live for free for a few months. And I would also expect a lot of Google's VO2 and VO3 integration. This is a lot of image to video. We've seen some of this on Honor's 400 Pro, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing this, or maybe even something better. Maybe we're going to get text to video straight on the Pixel devices. That's going to be pretty cool. Now, it also looks like we're going to get a bump up for the batteries. So the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 10 Pro will have slightly larger 4,870 milliamp hour batteries compared to the 4,700 that we had on the Pixel 9 and 9 Pro. And the Pixel 10 Pro is rumored to have a huge 5,200 milliamp hour battery, which is up from the 5,060 milliamp hour battery on the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Now, are these batteries going to be using silicon carbon technology? That's still a bit of a question mark. If they do, that means the devices might be a little bit lighter, but we'll have to wait and see. From what we're seeing on the rumors, charging speeds are also going to be improved slightly, with the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 10 Pro supporting 29 watts of charging, up from 27 watts, and the Pixel 10 Pro XL going up to 39 watts from 37 watts. Not sure that's going to make a huge difference. What may actually make a huge difference is that potentially we may be getting Qi 2 wireless charging on the new Pixels. And if that is the case, then they will be the first Android devices with built-in Qi 2 capabilities. So for those of you who don't know, Qi 2 is basically MagSafe, so having magnets built into the devices. I would love to have Qi 2 wireless charging built into the Pixel 10 series. Right now on Android smartphones, we do have Qi 2 support, but that is only if you use a compatible case with magnets. Now for the price, we actually haven't seen many leaks of pricing, but I would expect the pricing to be pretty much the same as what we had for the Pixel 9 series last year. So that's a starting price of around £800 or $800 for the Pixel 10, £1,000 or $1,000 for the Pixel 10 Pro, and around £1,100 or $1,100 for the Pixel 10 Pro XL. As mentioned towards the start, the official announcement date is on the 20th of August, with the release following shortly after on around the 28th of August. So if you want to see all of the hands-on coverage here on the channel first, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss it. Now, one thing that we've not really touched on is the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Now, although from the design, the leaks that we're seeing, it's going to be very similar to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and it's also going to be roughly about the same thickness. So it's not going to be as thin as the Galaxy Z Fold 7, for example. Having said that, the current rumors are that it's going to have a much bigger battery compared to the Z Fold 7 at around 5,015 milliamps. That's going to be up from the 4,650 milliamps that we had on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The Pixel 10 Pro Fold is also rumored to have slightly smaller bezels for the front display, so it's going to go up to 6.4 inches from 6.3 inches. But I think the most exciting rumor is that the Pixel 10 Pro Fold will be the first foldable with an IP68 water and dust resistant rating. So currently, most foldables do have an IP48 rating, which means they are water resistant, but can only withstand dust particles that are above a millimeter. If the Pixel 10 Pro Fold has an IP68 rating, that's going to be amazing. And those are all the leaks and rumors for the Pixel 10 series. What do you guys think of the Pixel 10 series? Will you be picking one up? Drop me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do smash that like button for me. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.